Hello friends, welcome to the Elite class. Today we're going to study about the current affairs related to international relations. Let's get started. Our first news today is about the Japan and IMD's partnership on the climate change. Let's study about it. Indian Meteorological Department, they have partnered with the government of Japan and UNDP, that is United Nations Development Programme, on climate change. The main aim of this partnership is to hasten the climate actions across the 10 states and the UTs of India. You have to remember that who has signed this partnership? IMD with the government of Japan and UNDP, and it is related to the climate change, and it has been implemented to hasten the climate actions across the 10 states and the UTs in India. Moving forward to the initiative and what it includes. Now this initiative simply will extend its support to the nationally determined contributions. Now what do we mean by nationally determined contributions? These are simply the non-binding national plans highlighting climate change mitigation, and it also includes the climate related targets for greenhouse gas emission reductions too. And these NDC's extended support is to achieve a net zero emission. These are simply to achieve the net zero emission. Now this partnership will also ensure the climate resilient development, and as a part of the initiative, UNDP will work in collaboration with IMD to promote the climate resilience and MNRE for promoting the climate mitigation. MNRE is the Ministry of Natural and the Renewable Energy Resources. What else is including in the initiative? It is they promote the climate mitigation by placing clean energy infrastructure and low emission technologies. These are the most important thing because they are working for the climate change, and that's why they will work in for placing the clean energy in place and also for low emission technologies also. But these technologies will be implemented in most important sectors like in the health, in transport, in MSMEs and in the agriculture. And the most important point that has been included in this initiative is that the climate planning and resilient climate planning will be manifested at the grassroots levels, and at least in the 30 gram panchayats a climate information flow system will be introduced, and through this a resilient climate planning will be done at the grassroots levels. Now also this initiative is aimed at promoting the green jobs, green entrepreneurship. And for this project, Japan has provided around 5.16 million USDs and climate grant to UNDP India. So this has been provided by the government of Japan. Moving to our next news, it's related to the Trans-Himalayan Multidimensional Connectivity Network. Now first we need to know what actually is this Trans-Himalayan Multidimensional Network. Fine. So we'll talk about it. This is simply an economic corridor. This is an economic corridor between Nepal and China. Nepal and China. Fine. Now this corridor will switch Nepal from being a landlocked country to a land-linked country, and this will help Nepal in growing their economy as well. Fine. Moving forward to the topic why this was in the news. China and Nepal has recently gave their consent on construction of this Trans-Himalayan Multidimensional Connectivity Network, about which I was explaining to you. China has also given an assistance of around 118 million USDs to Nepal, and there are also various other projects on which China is assisting Nepal to complete. Fine. Moving forward, what are actually the highlights of this China-Nepal agreement? China will be financing the feasible study of the China-Nepal cross-border railways. China will be sending their experts to Nepal to do surveys in 2022, and this whole highway will be constructed under Belt and Road Initiative of China. This is the most important thing to remember. The other projects that are included in China's this initiative and agreement, this include the construction of tunnel roads and upgrading the Araniko highway. This is the Araniko highway, sorry, and which has been closed in between the two countries following the Gorkha earthquakes. So that will be reconstructed and will be upgraded so as to make it open for the transport. Next news is Russia to quit International Space Station after 2024. Now Russia is all set to exit the International Space Station after 2024. What is the reason behind it? The reason behind is the escalations in the tensions between Russia and the West. As we all know that Russia has a military intervention in Ukraine, and there are lots of sanctions against Russia nowadays. So this all is pressurizing Russia to exit the International Space Station, and they're more likely to do it after 2024. Russia is also likely to focus on building its own space station. They're mostly focusing on building their own space station so that it will not make a big deal for them to take an exit from the International Space Station. Now, all we need to know about the International Space Station is that some space agencies that include the US, Russia, Japan, Canada and Europe, they all are jointly running the International Space Station. And International Space Station was first placed in orbit in 1998, and most importantly, the space station is simply to carry out the scientific research in the zero gravity and the test other equipments for further space missions. NASA and other space partners, they are more likely to keep space station running until 2030. Moving forward to the next news, this is the International Day for Conservation of the Mangrove Ecosystem. Now, the International Day for Conservation of the Mangrove Ecosystem is observed on 26th of July annually. The most important reason for observing this day annually or every year is to raise awareness on importance of the mangroves and the ecosystem they make. Mangroves are very unique, they're very special and the most vulnerable ecosystem we all have. And through this day, we also seek to provide the solutions for sustainable management, their conservation and the use of mangroves. Mangroves, as we know, in India we also have mangroves, like we have Sundarbans, they're also mangroves. And mangroves in India, the status of mangroves in India, if we have to read this, so as per the Forest Survey of India 2021, mangrove cover has increased in India by 17 square kilometers, and 3 states have contributed much to it, that is Odisha by 8 square kilometer, Maharashtra by 4 square kilometer and Karnataka by 3 square kilometers. Moving forward to the next news, and most probably the last news for today, that is India and Namibia have joined or signed a memorandum of understanding or the cheetah restoration. As we all know that cheetahs are extinct in India, that is why India has signed a memorandum of understanding with Namibia so as to reintroduce the cheetahs in India. And this memorandum of understanding including the 8 cheetahs to be introduced in India, and this includes 4 males and 4 female cheetahs, and they will be introduced in the Kuno National Park of the Madhya Pradesh. Now you have to tell me how many national parks are total in Madhya Pradesh, and you have to name them also. Okay, moving forward, what are the highlights in this memorandum of understanding? simply, we seek to promote the conservation, restoration of cheetahs in the historical range of India, where the species have already extinct. And India and Namibia will collaborate on the areas including the climate change, environmental governance, pollution, waste management, environmental impact assessments, and much more. Talking about the cheetah restoration plan of India, India has planned to introduce 8 to 10 cheetahs every year. Every year, 8 to 10 cheetahs. And in the next 5 years, they are planning to have total of 50 cheetahs. They will be relocated to India from countries like Namibia, South Africa, and many other African countries. But we have started the restoration plan starting from Namibia country. We are reintroducing the cheetahs from Namibia. So this is it for today. We'll meet you in the next lecture with more new news. Till then, please subscribe to my channel, and if you have liked the video, then please give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much.